U.S. Central Command here in the Middle East with our 50,000 service members to provide my 6th update on Operation Epic Fury. Now in our 5th week of the campaign, it is my operational assessment that we are making undeniable progress in eliminating Iran's ability to project power in meaningful ways outside its borders. We don't see their navy sailing, we don't see their aircraft flying, and their air defense and missile defense systems have largely been destroyed. In a stunning display of joint special operations and air power, the United States launched a highly coordinated precision strike against Iran's most heavily defended positions along the Strait of Hormuz. Navy SEALs on the ground and F-35 Lightning II pilots in the sky worked together in real time to destroy a network of advanced anti-ship missile batteries, radar stations, and command bunkers that were threatening commercial shipping. This joint operation was designed to punch a hole through Iran's coastal defenses and accelerate the reopening of the critical waterway. The mission began at forward bases in the United States and the Middle East. At Naval Base Coronado in California, Navy SEAL teams received the alert at 0200 hours. At Hill Air Force Base in Utah, F-35 pilots and maintainers were also put on immediate combat readiness. The two forces would link up for a synchronized strike, SEALs providing ground targeting and real-time intelligence, while F-35s delivered devastating precision munitions from above. At Coronado, Lieutenant Commander Ryan Hale gathered his SEAL platoon in the dimly lit briefing room. A large digital map of the Hormuz coastline filled the screen, showing the exact locations of the Iranian missile sites, radar towers, and underground command bunkers. Commander Hale spoke with quiet intensity. "We insert by sea, mark the targets, and provide laser designation. The F-35s will do the heavy striking. We go in silent. We hit hard, and we exfil before they can react." He detailed infiltration routes, target priorities, and emergency extraction plans. Every SEAL listened in absolute focus, committing the plan to memory. Preparation started immediately in the armory. SEAL operators checked and rechecked their gear with professional calm. They donned tactical dry suits, fitted advanced night vision goggles, and loaded suppressed Mk-18 rifles with subsonic rounds. Snipers calibrated their precision rifles, breaching teams tested shaped charges, and communication specialists verified encrypted radios. Each operator packed extra magazines, medical kits, laser designators, and flex cuffs for high-value targets. The mood was calm yet deadly serious. At the same time, at Hill Air Force Base in Utah, the F-35 preparation and loading sequence was in full swing. Ground crews positioned fuel trucks beside each stealth fighter and connected the single-point refueling nozzle. JP-8 fuel flowed steadily while gauges were monitored to fill every tank to maximum capacity. Weapons teams then moved in with hydraulic hoists. Precision-guided bombs and air-to-ground missiles were carefully lifted into the internal weapons bays and onto external pylons. Each munition was aligned perfectly, mounting lugs locked, electrical wiring harnesses plugged in and tested, and finally arming pins with bright red safety flags were inserted. Avionics and engine specialists completed final checks as jet after jet was made combat-ready. With preparation complete, the takeoff and insertion phase began. At Coronado, SEAL teams boarded MH-47 Chinook helicopters and combatant craft assault boats. The helicopters lifted off into the night sky while the boats raced across the Gulf toward the target. Simultaneously, from Hill Air Force Base and the Ford Base in the UAE, waves of F-35 Lightning II fighters taxied and roared down the runways, disappearing into the darkness. KC-46 Pegasus tankers followed shortly after to provide mid-air refueling support for the long mission. The joint operation reached its climax as the SEALs inserted onto the rocky coastline. The boat teams silently approached the shore and climbed the cliffs using grappling hooks and silent ascent rigs. The helicopter teams fast roped into position behind the ridges. Within minutes, all SEAL elements were in place without raising any alarms. Using laser designators, they began painting critical Iranian targets, missile launchers, radar arrays, and command bunkers for the incoming F-35s. High above, the F-35 pilots received real-time targeting data. Flying in stealth mode, they descended toward the coast and released their precision munitions. Guided bombs and missiles streaked downward, guided by the lasers from the SEAL teams on the ground. One after another, Iranian missile batteries erupted in massive fireballs. Radar towers collapsed in clouds of smoke and debris. Underground bunkers were hit with devastating accuracy, their entrances sealed by powerful explosions. The F-35s made multiple passes, delivering wave after wave of precision strikes, while the SEALs continued to mark new targets and provide battle damage assessment. The mission phase lasted less than 40 minutes, but delivered overwhelming results. The coordinated strike completely neutralized the main cluster of Hormuz coastal defenses. The Iranian command lost multiple long-range anti-ship missile systems and key radar coverage in a single blow. As the first light of dawn appeared, the exfiltration and unloading phase began.
The SEAL teams quietly withdrew to their boats and helicopters, bringing with them captured intelligence materials and 2 high-value IRGC officers. The MH-47 Chinooks and fast boats raced away from the coast towards safety. At the same time, the F-35s, now low on fuel, rendezvoused with waiting KC-46 Pegasus tankers for rapid refueling before returning to base. Back at the forward operating base in the UAE, the returning F-35s touched down and taxied to their parking spots. Ground crews immediately began post-flight inspections and unloading of remaining munitions data. Shortly after, MSI-17 Globemaster III aircraft arrived from the United States carrying additional support personnel and equipment. As the big rear ramps lowered, soldiers stepped onto the tarmac with their heavy duffel bags. Many looked around at the desert heat, the roaring jets, and the distant Gulf. Realizing this base was now their home for the duration of the campaign, they shouldered their gear with quiet determination and headed toward their quarters. The results of the joint strike were immediate and dramatic. Iranian coastal missile activity dropped sharply within hours. Several key radar sites were completely destroyed, creating a safe corridor for commercial shipping. The first groups of oil tankers that had been waiting offshore began moving again through the Strait of Hormuz under the protection of American air and naval forces. Colonel Marcus Whitaker, who coordinated the air element, stood on the control tower and addressed his team. SEALs on the ground and F-35s in the sky just proved what joint operations can achieve. The defenses are broken. The strait is opening. On the coastline, the SEALs who had marked the targets for destruction regrouped quietly. Lieutenant Commander Ryan Hale looked at his men and said simply, "Mission complete. We open the lane. The waters are flowing again." The joint precision strike executed by Navy SEALs and F-35 pilots delivered a powerful message. American forces can strike with lethal accuracy from both the sea and the sky, anywhere and anytime. What Iran had built as an impenetrable wall along the Hormuz coast was shattered in one coordinated night of precision violence. The Strait of Hormuz had taken another major step toward flowing freely once more, thanks to the silent warriors on the ground and the stealth fighters that delivered justice from above.